Welcome to Let's Talk Special Economic Zones, raising awareness of the impact of SEZs on people, planet, profits, and governance with Ainsley Brown.
Hi, welcome everyone to another episode of Let's Talk Special Economic Zones. I'm your host, Ainsley Brown, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about fiscal incentives or just incentives, tax incentives, the tax breaks as market signaling. Um, this is to say that zone regimes use the fiscal incentives that are associated with them, or tax breaks that are associated with them, as a means to signal to the market as to who or what they're looking for. It may not be thought about in this way, but we'll explore it today so you'll understand what I mean exactly. So zones, special economic zones, free zones, free trade zones, industrial parks. There are a variety of names that are used, and it's basically the same thing. Um, it is a designated area enabled by some piece of legislation or a decree by a government that says certain special tax breaks are associated with that area, as well as the laws that apply. Some of the laws that apply in the rest of the economy don't necessarily apply here, or different laws apply. So, for example, the regular law, which is also a fiscal incentive around duties. Whenever you bring items in, items are dutiable or maybe dutiable because they're in the zone. They are not. And as long as they remain so, they are not, right? And there may be other laws that are modified. So also as part of zones, there's the fiscal incentives. There's some level of incentives associated with them. And there are different types of incentives, so they can be financial, fiscal, or non-fiscal slash non-financial incentives. So we're going to concentrate on the incentives, particularly the fiscal incentives. Those are the tax breaks that are associated with zones. And typically, these come in, although they can come in a variety of forms, they typically cover reduction rate of corporate income tax all the way potentially to zero, um, and sometimes for a period of time or for basically in perpetuity. That's losing favor these days, but it still exists. Um, Reduced, as I was talking about with the duties, as long as you bring the item in and it remains in the zone, it's duty free. um, there may be things around capital allowance and, dividends and how those are treated and how those are taxed. There may be land taxes as well. There may be value added taxes that are reduced or eliminated, or things like of that nature. And depending on what the zone regime is aimed at achieving, those that fiscal package, a fiscal set of incentives that are offered to the investor, it will signal to them, this is what I want. This is who I want to attract. So for example, let's say you wanted to attract high tech manufacturers, that these people are um, they're not interested in turnkey solutions. They want to come in and build their own factory. And that's your focus. People are going to come in and build their own factory, high tech. One of the fiscal incentives you may wish to consider is around land taxes. How do you reduce those or even eliminate those, right? In addition, a typical one is reduce corporate income tax. You may want to scale the income tax in terms of saying zero for the first X number of years so that the company can scale itself. And then thereafter, there is an increase. So you could say for the first 5 years, zero. And then um, for the next five or next 10 is at 10% or something like that, or 5%, whatever you decide. Now, of course, with the OECD's global corporate minimum income tax, that story has somewhat changed at 15%, but that's for another time. And I have videos on that, which you can find on my channel. Uh, so there is that. If it is that you are even as well, if you are focused on development, focused on build out of actual physical spaces, you may focus on not just the type of incentive, but who gets it. So you may say, I am going to anybody that wants to build, the developers, the builders, you get this. So you get a reduced corporate income tax. Say your regular corporate income tax is 20%. You may say, well, for the next 10 years, it's zero for you, right? Or you could tie it to an activity. You could say, it's zero for your rental income because that's what you're supposed to be concentrating on, right? So I want you to build. I don't want you to be doing other activities. If you do other activities, I might charge you 20 or I might charge you 10 because, you're part of the special economic zones regime. So I'll reduce your income tax. But because I want to incentivize you to build, it's zero, right? Likewise, you may find, and the US, for example, is a perfect example. The US, you can tell they have a zone program. So zones are not just about third world countries. It's all over the world. The US program, you can tell what it's about. They only offer one incentive, fiscal incentive, that is, and that is duty-free access to materials as long as it remains in the zone. They don't give you a reduced income tax. And they're telling you what they want. They want people that are going to come and trade. They want people that are going to come in and do value added and then benefit from the network of trade agreements that they have in place. That's what they want, right? Come and do this. And I'm incentivizing you. I'm signaling to you, the market, to come and do this. That's the type of investments, that's the type of investors that I want. I hope this episode is useful for you. If you liked it, please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment down below. And if you want to see me do a particular topic, just leave me a comment down below as well, and I'll get right back to you. Bye for now.